Okay, welcome back. So we're in exam domain 1.3. So if you don't have the guide, you can download it from the link above. Now, exam domain 1.3 talks about certified OS versions for SAP, certified database versions for SAP, certified AWS block storage solutions for SAP, things like certified instances for your production workloads. And this is really where the SAP OSS Note comes into play. So let's just write down this number. So that's 1656099, and this actually talks about the interoperability of the OS versions, the database version, the SAP software, and the AWS services like EBS and EC2, some of those core services for running those SAP workloads on AWS. Okay, so one of the other ways we can check what EC2 instances are certified for SAP on AWS workloads from a production perspective is by checking the AWS technical documentation. So let's have a quick look. So let me bring in my flying browser, and you can see straight away the SAP OSS Note is listed right here on the screen, 1656099, and you can access that SAP Note from the SAP portal with a SAP user ID, and then check out the interoperability of all the OS versions, DB versions, and SAP applications. So if we have a quick drill down on this and we go to HANA Certified Instances on screen, right, you can see that there's a list of EC2 instances on this page. And if we scroll down, for example, to some of our newer instances, like the X2s for HANA workloads, let's pick one out, X2, there we go. So what we're going to do is if we highlight a specific one, so we're going to go for the X2 IDN 32X large right here, 128 vCPU, 2 TIBs of RAM, and the other great thing is here as well here is the SAPs are listed here. So if you're using the SAP Quick Sizer or using the HANA sizing report, you can use the SAPs to help figure out what's the most suitable instance for the workload that you're going to run. In addition to that, with SAP Early Watch reports, you can look at CPU utilization and use this list to help map out the correct instances for you. So a couple of other things to mention here. The first one is that if you check right here, there's a little tick, and that means that this instance is certified for production workloads. If it's not checked, and this is from an OLTP perspective, if it's not checked, it means you can use these instances from a dev and sandbox perspective, but not production. And for OLAP and BW, you can see there's an additional column for that too. One final thing on this page is don't forget to check out the HANA scale out clusters. So if you're going to be scaling out horizontally with your HANA database, so we're talking about multiple EC2s for your HANA database, then this guide, you flip the tab and this guide will show you what's certified and the configuration that's certified for those scale out workloads. Okay, what about block storage for our HANA workloads? So how much storage do we need for data? How much storage do we need for logs, for example? What are the AWS best practices here? So again, the AWS technical team have done a brilliant job in actually putting together a little guide for you guys to follow in terms of the storage configuration layout for your HANA workload. So let's have a quick closer look at this. So let me bring in the flying browser again, and you can see storage configuration for SAP HANA workloads. And if I scroll right down for a second, down this list, right about here, you can see that we're going to go back to the same instance we were using on the EC2 instance side. So we're going to pick out that X2 DN 32X large, again with 2 TIBs of memory and 128 vCPU. Now in the next column, it tells you the storage configuration for HANA data. So if you look up here, this is GP3 HANA data, and if you want to know what the HANA logs configuration is, you flip to the other tab. Also, if you're looking for IO2, or if you need that performance disk and you're looking for the configuration for IO2 or IO1, that's lower down on this page. So make sure you check that out if that's required. Now, it says here that we require 2 volumes of 1.2 TIBs for HANA data. The other point to mention here is that those volumes need to be striped, so with LVM. So the other thing I want to show you right here is if you look at the throughput, it says the throughput per volume is 750, but the total throughput, because we're using 2 volumes striped, is 1500. Can you see that there? And in terms of IOPS per volume, we're looking at 4,500 IOPS right here. And then because we're striping 2 volumes together, the total IOPS for this EC2 instance, again, this is for the EC2 instance, is 9,000 IOPS. So it's super important that you follow this guide and make sure you stripe those volumes, especially where it says there's multiple volumes, to get them. With that said, please like the video, repost it. Shout out to my technical reviewer again, Vamsi, as always. Thanks, bro. And join me in my next session where I'm going to be talking about exam domain 1.4, high availability, DR, and even overlay IP as part of the high availability layout. So I'll catch you guys then. See you there.